I'm Dr. Renee. I've been using THINX period panties for about 4, almost 5 years now. I absolutely love that. First and foremost, because I'm not wasting money and gas going to the store to get pads. And I wasn't really a tampon user. I used them very rarely. So that's my biggest thing. Secondly, the way that pads feel, like you're always reminded it's there because you can feel it. I felt like I had a diaper on. I felt like everyone knew I was on my cycle because they bulged, because I'm a heavy bleeder. That's another good thing that you need to know. The third thing is they're great for the environment. And of course, along with saving money, I'm not ruining any clothes. I'm not ruining underwear. I'm not really ruining my clothes because of the leakage, nothing. It's free bleed and it's so amazing. No one would know I'm on my cycle unless I tell them. There's no odor, there's no leakage, and they're wonderful. And if you would like to try them out, $10 off using my link, and there is a money back guarantee. If it doesn't work out for you, you can do that as well. But I promise if you try it, you'll fall in love with it. And there's a lot of other options out there. As a matter of fact, THINX even has other options that you could check out. Check out the website, shethinks.com/Renee, RENEE. Bye.
Good morning. It is week number 8. So it's week number 8. So I have some updates on, unfortunately, Chicago and how we really are not going to have a summer this year. But thank you, Dr. Kelly, for joining me once again.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So thank you for joining me. So today it was announced that Ravinia's entire season for 2020 has been canceled. This is the first time since the Great Depression is what I read. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they said. So for those that don't know, don't live in Chicago, don't know about Chicago summers, Ravinia is this really fabulous outdoor venue that has all sorts of amazing concerts. Diana Ross has been there, John Legend, Jill Scott, Anita Baker. I mean, all sorts of amazing people. Of course, on the other side, there's been rock artists there, all sorts of amazing artists. Well, they've canceled the whole season. And that is something that everyone looks forward to. I mean, everyone's waiting to see who's going to be there this year. And it's got a huge lawn area behind the seats where you can set up your picnics and all of that stuff. And so now that's gone. So we've lost Ravinia, the house picnic, the Silver Room Block Party. So basically the summertime in Chicago has been canceled. Gospel Fest. So everything's been canceled. So it's a wrap. So I will say we have some good news, though. I told Dr. Kelly, I read this morning, 1 million people have survived COVID-19, and that's in the world. So that's good news because, unfortunately, all we ever hear on the news is the numbers of deaths. So I want to bring you the good news. Look, like my mother, the Reverend, bring you the good news. The good news is that 1 million people have survived. So yes, Chicago, we had one day this week that had 2,000 people that were diagnosed. No, I forgot how many were diagnosed, but we have lost in Chicago as of, I think today's Friday. So maybe it was Wednesday. We've lost 2,000 people to this. So I think it's great that people are surviving. And actually, I am going to do a show soon about that. And we'll have some actual survivors on so you can see them in the flesh. Kelly, what are the numbers?
So before I go to there, on a personal note, in terms of bringing good news,
she's got
one of my best friends from medical school. Her mom was actually diagnosed with COVID-19, and she was on a ventilator for 3 weeks, to the point where like doctors were giving up on her, but God, and literally she's now been tested negative for COVID-19, and she's probably going to go to rehab. But just to share some positive stories, we turn on the television and all we see is sickness and death, but people are recovering. People are going home to their families. Continue to pray for those who have lost loved ones, because everyone started and end this way. But we're giving thanks and being grateful for the ones that do end well. So in terms of the new numbers, it's 1,031,000 cases, and I think it's a little bit over 60,000 deaths. I know earlier the White House was initially they were predicting over 1 million, then they came back and said 60,000 by August, but I think we're going to, or 64,000 by August, I think. but we are going to exceed that pretty soon in terms of the deaths from COVID-19.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But someone's asking, yes, we are live right now. So the one thing I did want to make sure that you understood is that the case that Kelly was talking about, she is leaving the hospital without a ventilator. So, you know, people have been saying, oh, you get put on a ventilator, you're going to die. That's not true. That is not true. Not everyone. There are some people, obviously, that won't be able to make it, but there are people that do survive. And actually, I had a family member that I believe is currently in rehab, and they were on a ventilator as well from COVID-19. And so they, you know, they're in rehab now themselves. So it is possible. It can happen. The ventilator is not a death sentence. I grew up with a mother who was a respiratory therapist, and so she has been talking to us about this since, you know, everyone started saying stuff like that. I also wanted to say that if you watch the Ask Dr. Renee show, which I hope you do, this week I had not one, but one person on the Ask Dr. Renee show and one person on blackdoctor.org that were survivors of COVID-19. So, and I mean, these women explained to me off camera what they went through. And all I know is it confirmed that I will be sitting right here until I feel that it is absolutely safe for me to leave my house, because I don't tolerate pain well. And it was described to me by my guest on Monday. It felt like an anvil on her chest. Does anyone know what a big old metal anvil is? That is horrible. And then the other guest, she was a doctor, and she said it felt like slime was on her lungs. And when she tried to inhale, it was nothing there. So can you imagine? Right. I'm like, and honestly, because I have, you know, asthma, and I've had 1.2 million asthma attacks, I know what it feels like not being able to breathe. And it is not fun at all. So I know what pain that is. So I think multiply that by 10 is what they're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want any parts of it. So so here I sit, and I've actually been here. It'll be 4 weeks on Monday that I have not even gone to the grocery store. So I've literally not left. So, but it's okay. You know, the groceries come to me, food comes to me. I cook, I order, I do whatever. And, I'm trying to help the small businesses. You know, a couple times I get food, but other times I eat my stuff. So yeah, it's the new normal for now. I've done millions of lives. I've done virtual parties. I've just booked 2 more virtual parties. I did a virtual happy hour last night. So I'm just, you know, and then I did, how many courses did I do yesterday, Kelly? I think I did 2 courses yesterday that I took myself. So I'm over here trying to get my skills better. I'm going to be fluent in Spanish again, because I was before, again, by the time we come out of this, because I am not playing when it comes to my Duolingo. So I'm just trying to make sure that I make the best of my time, you know, and plus it'll take my mind off the fact that I can't be with my dad. So I just got to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving.
It's true. And that's the thing, like younger folks were like, you know, I don't care if I get it because I'm not going to die. But even if you don't die, like those 2 weeks of being ill, like seems like torture. So you really don't want to get this. But I wanted to talk a little bit about antibodies, because as Dr. Renee said, there are 1 million people who have recovered. So what do the antibodies mean? Do they protect you? So whenever your body is exposed to a virus, your immune system makes antibodies that you can find in your plasma or your blood that can potentially protect you from getting the infection again. But what they found is that there's no clear evidence that once you get coronavirus the first time, the antibodies are going to be protective. So even if you have recovered from COVID-19, you still need to do the social distancing. You still need to do the good hand hygiene, because there's a chance that you might get it again. Or even if you don't get it now, if another wave comes in the fall, you might get it then too. So the antibodies right now aren't 100% protective. Also, the antibody tests themselves aren't very accurate. I think the FDA, because they're fast tracking everything, allowed 70 labs to make these antibodies, but they only approved eight labs. So right now it's only for research. I know the president was saying that maybe the antibodies is like, you know, if you have the antibodies, you're free to go back to work. But it's not that simple, not at all.
You go through that. The other thing is both of the people that told me this week, Dr. Pierce, she said it on blackdoctor.org that she was a survivor as well. Neither one of them was at 14 days. Both of them, it was like almost 20 days, if not more. So, this is nothing to play with. And neither one of these people have, these underlying conditions we talk about. These ladies, honestly, are probably in better shape than I am. These are your Soul Cycle, your, yogi. These are like people that work out and, look wonderful, fit. So if it can attack them like that, like I said, this all confirmed why I'm staying in my house.
Yeah, I just go to work and I go to the park to walk, and that's in the grocery store. And I used to go to the grocery store like at least twice a week. Now it's like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this week I made a very good effort to wear my mask. Whenever I go out and interact with anyone, if I'm going to the grocery store, going to pick up some food, I put my mask on, not really to protect me, but in case I have it, to protect other people from me. So if we all wore a mask when we go out, and I think it should be mandated in public, businesses.
It is in lots of places. I think it is here now too.
Here in Atlanta, here in Georgia, it isn't. But
well, y'all reopened, so
I know. I'm waiting for the surge to happen like this week or next week. That's why I'm not going to the grocery store this week.
Yeah, they reopened. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot are like, nah, we're good. And honestly, I think the second to last week of May will come and he'll say, well, not May 30th, June. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I can just feel that.
Summer can't be canceled. Please, summer can't be canceled.
No. Well, at least you live in Georgia. You have not had winter and cold.
True. True.
But I also read that the numbers that we're seeing in April were the numbers we were expecting to see in August. So, needless to say, it isn't going well. So this is why people need to stay closed so that we can start, trending downward across the country. If here and there trends downward, that's really not helpful for people that are trying to leave their homes and travel, like myself. Like, I just need to get on a plane. But yeah, that's what it is. Last week was the disinfectant. This week, I think he didn't say anything too crazy. But unfortunately, though, we did find out after we went off the air, we found out about several people who actually did drink disinfectant. I don't believe anyone died, but needless to say, they have not, vaccinated themselves against COVID-19 either. And God only knows what other harm they might have done to their bodies. Also, UV lights, no, that's not really going to do anything for you.
No, it's not cure it.
But yeah, I think that you should just please remember to take medical advice from medical people and not from the man in the White House who I'm not even sure is qualified to be there. But just don't do it. But Dr. Kelly, do you have anything else?
No, just that we'll be here again next week.
Yes. Look, same times. Well, not necessarily same time because we get busy. But we will be here on Friday, May 8th. And we'll be here May 8th. And
please be safe this week. Please love on your family and friends.
And call the people that are by themselves quarantining, because they are by themselves and they have no one to speak to. So call them. Texts are great, but call them, FaceTime them. I really am appreciating, and Facebook rooms, I think it launched or is launching this week. Mm-hmm. So that will be the equivalent of Zoom, but it'll be right here on Facebook. Plan Facebook rooms with your family. You plan, I don't know, plan a party, happy hour. Y'all each have dinner together or something on Sunday. Something. Just please, just be together, however you can be together. And have you guys seen the new emoji on Facebook? And it's like hugging a heart.
Something? Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.